Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? Going through therapy, coaching, reading like fucking every book ever made, and just trying to figure out who I was. What was there a process for you, like when you're in this window? And I know more in depth of your story from reading your book of just those massive struggles, fucking working at Olive Garden, knocking doors, doing that lifestyle. What were you learning? If you like rewind and put your brain into a decade ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, like, what were you learning about yourself in those moments of struggle?
Yeah, I think I just learned that I honestly felt like I just had more mental fortitude than most people. I think what I went through, like getting to that kind of financial success, is that most people are not willing, I think, to go through that. I learned a lot about myself but I think also it's because I'm insecure. I mean, the whole reason wouldn't quit is not because I didn't want to quit, it's because I wouldn't quit because I was so embarrassed if I had to go back and basically let people see that because to that point, I
Mm.
hadn't failed at anything. Even the NFL, yeah, that didn't work out, but I felt like it was a little outside my control based on my injuries. Like I could not stay healthy. I've gone in college and I did not get to get on the field for a single college down because I was literally always hurt, always. And so I guess I don't know. I guess in that point, I don't know how you feel about your journey, but I felt when I started getting into this business, I was like, man, if I struggled that much and I have this level of mental fortitude, which I think is in the top 1%, I can only imagine how other people feel. And it became apparent to me why a lot of people quit. It became apparent to me why a lot of people aren't successful, not because they're not special, but because they're not willing to push through the pain. Cause it sucks, dude. I just remember I didn't date. I was embarrassed to hang out with girls because of my car. I couldn't afford stuff. Olive Garden paid me $100 a day. I would go on a date with a girl and blow the cash on a date. And I was like, man, I don't want to do that anymore. I was working 16, 18 hours a day with no result. I would work half a day and then come home and work dead tired and it wouldn't work. And so 2 years doesn't sound long, but when you're working every day of the week, 18 hours a day, and you rarely take breaks, it just feels like the end of the world. And it doesn't feel good and your self-esteem's low. People ask you what you're doing. Oh, I have a business. They're like, you're working at Olive Garden. How's that going? Not going great. So I don't know if that's the answer you're looking for, but I guess I learned a lot about myself and my mental fortitude. And when I finally did hit success, that did a lot for me because I realized I was like, you know what? Like, as long as I don't quit, even if I'm not the smartest person, even if I make mistakes, like I will get there. And I'm lucky I had a mentor who kept pushing me because I called him 4 to 5 times over that 2 years. I almost quit. And he just would talk me off the ledge. And it's crazy because I was on a podcast the other day and I said, dude, the difference in opportunity cost is about $49.6 million because that's what I would have made in my engineering job is about 400 G's. And I've done close to 50. And it's not all about money. That's part of why we're on this show, but that kind of stuff's crazy. And I think people do that all the time where they make these decisions that they have no idea the lasting impact and they'll never know. And that's scary to me because anyways, so
No,
yeah,
I
long
love
answer.
that. No, take the space, please, because I like this is what this is about. I think about so often the difference between success and failure in pretty much everything in life is just timeline. A couple years ago, Grant Cardone, who I know that he invested into Think Unbroken, so he's a business partner, right? And he tells me something really important, dude. He goes, "Look, man, the only time you ever lose is if you quit." And I'll tell you this, building the business, like the podcast, obviously, this is about value. This is about helping people and changing their lives. But I don't know about you, dude. I've never listened to a podcast that ever changed my life like entirely. I've always had to get the book or go to the coaching session, join the seminar, do whatever the next thing was from these people that I look up to that mentor me. And I think that a big part of it is just the willingness that I've discovered that I'm just not going to quit. I'm just not going to stop. And I think that a lot of that comes with the resiliency of maybe just the suffering that I endured as a kid. Like it's hard to grow up Mormon and fucking poor and biracial. And being in that boat made me just go for a long time. And I don't know if you related to this, but for a long time, dude, I just hated people. And I was like, I'm going to go on my own. I'm going to figure it out. Nobody's going to help me because I don't love or trust anyone. And then I realized like one of the most empirical truths of life is that you have to have mentorship. You have to have community. You have to have coaches and partners and friends and family and love, because without those things, like nothing's going to be different. Was it because you grew up playing sports that you went and found a coach or a mentor, or was that just like happenstance? Like, how did that evolve for you?
I just hit rock bottom. I left college thinking that I could figure everything out. And I had a very big ego because at that point, I'd done everything on my own, so to speak. I built my body. I got scholarship offers. I had straight A's. Like I got the girl. So I just was like, I can do anything. And that's a good mindset to have. And I think to a degree I did. But then 2 years trying to start my business, having no success, I was like, dude, like, I just got to a point where, especially knocking doors, I think that's really what pushed me over the edges. I mentally was so tired that I was like, dude, I will do anything. And I literally would have done anything, like anything. And so when I saw that ad and it was like how to build an online fitness business, it was just happenstance. I saw it. It was like, that's the industry I'd been in. And so I got on the call and I just gave him every dollar I had because I just was like, there's no other choice. Like sometimes my sales team and probably your sales teams were telling us about something. Yeah, they said it was 2 weeks. I just didn't even care. I just was like, I'd rather be homeless than continue to live the way I'm living because I hate it. And I just felt like a loser. And I think a lot of people are successful. Honestly, they have similar stories where it's some type of insecurity or fear driven decision making that just pushes them to like crazy heights and crazy levels where they can just endure massive amounts of pain for short periods of time. And ourselves sucks. I mean, it was 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, including the travel. And we had 1 day off. And I did that for 7 to 8 months straight in the Alabama heat. It was hot, man. And it's like the stuff that happened out there, like, people pull knives on me, guns. I just think it was all those things.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wish I had a better answer, but I just think it was that. I just hit rock bottom. I was so sick of that crap that I was like, dude, I'll lick a floor if I know it worked. I think most people, they're unwilling to do that. Like they say they will, but they won't. But I was that guy. And I remember my mentor, David, he used to rip into me. And he even said, Tanner, he's like, you know what your best quality is? I was like, what? He's, I can rip into you and you just don't care. And I was like, maybe it's because of sports, because coaches will just cuss you out.
For sure.
And I just didn't care. I had no ego when it came to that, finally that moment. Like I had an ego getting help. Like I was like, I don't need help. But when I finally had help, I was like, dude, I'm an idiot, obviously, because I'm not, it's what I thought would work, isn't. So you tell me what to do, and I will be your best student. And it was like, that's how it was for me in every program. I was always the best student because I just implemented like a psycho. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that's 99% of it. So it relate to the knocking doors, man. I did Cutco when I was like 18
Oh,
because I was just like knocking doors all day, dogs barking at you, people freaking out, old naked ladies answering the door.
oh, yeah, I got stories about that. Like I can't even stare them. I got bad stories about that.
Dude, just the most gnarly stuff. And just being like, is this it? Is this what I'm supposed to do? And then singing and eventually landing a job with a Fortune 10 company, doing really well in sales, figured out how to navigate the corporate environment. And then what I decided to do without really understanding how poor of a decision it was at the time, I was like, I'm going to quit this job and I'm just going to open my own business. And I think that was A, it's the greatest mistake I've ever made. And B, I learned a lot in that because, you know, Tom Bilyeu, one of my mentors, a great human in my life, says something that I think everyone really needs to hold on to. And that is that the struggle is guaranteed and the success is not. And so much of this journey really is about the struggle and being able to go through it. And I don't even think just necessarily financially, because, dude, I've struggled in relationships. I've struggled with my weight. I've struggled with the way I feel about myself when I'm by myself. And the only way I've been able to get through any of that shit is just keep going, man. Just keep going the next level. But it was in getting mentorship and getting coaching and investing in myself that really changed the game. And I think that you're spot on, dude. Most people would not have made the decision that you made. But I've always thought about it like this. I'm like, I'm already at fucking rock bottom. What's another 2 grand? What's another 5 grand?
It's not going to get any worse. And it's so, it drives me up a wall because I just wish there's something you could say sometimes where it's, dude, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, right?
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. Like you can go back to your bad job that you're on the phone call that you're, it just drives me nuts. But that's also just like, it pushes me to be better. Cause I'm like, you know what? I need to get better at sales. I need to get better at marketing. Cause if they are saying that, I still can't convince them it's not good enough, but I agree. It just, and it sucks because they don't know, but we're on the other side. So we're like, dude, like I was there and you don't know, but if you go, like you'll get there and then you'll see how smart of a decision it was. But